All right, glad to have Illini women's basketball coach Shauna Green joining us now. Shauna, thanks for the time as always. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. It's always good to be on with you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, I know you've been shorthanded without one of the best guards in the country, Makira Cook, through the first two games, 71-67 loss at Marquette. But what have you learned about your team through the first two games of the season here?
It's always you want to be healthy, right? But it's part of this game, and I think that overall, from a holistic, like in long term, this is good for us. It's good for our guys to a lot of new people have to step into different roles and get a lot of experience. So, do we want to play at full strength? Yes, but I just try to find the positive out of this, and so I think we've shown a lot of toughness and resiliency and. I think we're going to be better because of this adversity and some of the things we faced the last couple of weeks. And even on Saturday, there was a lot of really good things that came from that game. And, that's why we did it. We could have scheduled easy. We could have had a home game where we knew we were going to win. But we went on the road and played a really good team, and that's, it's all good things and learning experiences.
Sean, I know obviously Makira deserves every headline she gets, but it seems like Genesis gets a little overlooked because Makira's star is so bright. What is it about her that you've seen her grow into being as good as she is? I know you chased her all over in high school to get her, but how have you seen her grow?
Jen, she's an unbelievable player, and she's so capable of doing so many things. But I've just seen her grow, from last year to this year, her confidence level, her comfort level and what's expected and being able and being ready to really shine in some of the bigger moments. And, she's just a great player. She's a great person. She's a great teammate. And she's really grown in her leadership as well. And she leads in a different way than a Makira leads. So it's good, all of that together. I think this has been good for her. She's had to play the point a lot more and she's had to score, a lot more. And those are things that are going to really benefit us. I'm really positive about that. It's going to benefit us down the line. So I'm really proud of Jen. And just every day she continues to grow as a player and as a person.
You guys had a big road game at Marquette. Now you get Notre Dame coming up. I know we've talked, Sean, about this non-conference schedule and boosting it up. But how did you know the time was right to kind of put yourselves in these conversations, especially either a road game or a neutral court game?
I just think you have to, when you have returners coming back and you had a little bit of success last year, you got to test yourself. And if I had a crystal ball and knew we were going to have injuries or here or there, maybe you're like, oh, I wish we would play this game later, but that's life. You don't know. And again, everything happens for a reason. We're going to be better because of, having some adversity, and we have opportunities to win, and Marquette's good. Like I said, they're going to beat a lot of teams, and I think they're picked third in the Big East. So that's a really, really good game for us. We learned, I know I feel a lot better after that game, even though I hate to lose more than anything in the world. I learned stuff about our team, and we had after Moorhead, we had our best week of practice in preparation for Marquette. And then, we got to clean some things up against Marquette, which we will, but we showed a lot of toughness in that game. So I just think that, the timing was right with this team. And I thought that, I know we can handle it. So we'll go in, same thing. We got a game on Wednesday, but then we'll prepare for Notre Dame, top 10 team in the country, and we'll prepare for them on a neutral site. I like that. I thought that was a really good game when you can have a top 10 team on a neutral site. So I'm excited about the non-conference slate.
NBC tip-off at noon. Great, obviously leading into a Notre Dame football game, but also Illinois fans, the football game doesn't start till 2:30, so they get to watch this. But obviously it's supposed to be a great experience for your players getting out there on Thursday, Shauna. But what does this opportunity mean in front of a national audience against one of the best teams in the country for your program?
I think it is a great opportunity, and that's why we did it. So we want to be able to go out there on national TV and compete against the best, and hopefully show what Illinois women's basketball is about and what we're made of, and whether that's at full strength or not or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We're going to go. We're going to be prepared. We're going to fight. And I think that I love neutral site games. It's a big opportunity for our guys, and they know that. They're returning group. They know that. They know this is a big moment, and I know we'll be ready.
This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with a healthy lifestyle while tackling your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. This holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered right to your door. Ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. So head to factormeals.com/Illini50 and use code Illini50 to get 50% off. That's code Illini50 at factormeals.com/Illini50 to get 50% off.
So how have your off-season additions so far impacted your team and you as a coach of what you can do?
You know, it's interesting because when I think about it, I'm like, we have a lot of returners, but we also have a lot of new pieces. And then you throw us playing, without Makira. So a lot of people are playing in different roles. So I've had to take a step back and really look at it from that big picture of, okay, well, Cam's having to step up now and play a ton of minutes. Jada now is playing in a different role than maybe she was last year, even though she's been here, right? And she understands, well, now I'm, putting her on some of the better offense players, and she's having to really pour in defensively where she didn't have to do that last year. Now KB's playing more at the 4. Like at Marquette, we went big the majority of the second half. She's playing at the 4. Now Hobby's figuring out. So I'm like, we're a veteran and experienced team, but really we're not because everyone's kind of in different positions. And now Jen's having to, really carry more of a load scoring wise. And so that's where I got to just continue to be patient and understand this is a process. And those new guys will come along. And I thought you saw that with Hobby on Saturday. Like she's coming along and really made an impact offensively. Just got to continue to sharpen up the defensive consistency. And then same thing with our freshmen and Shay. It's a process. And I keep telling them that. Just be patient, trust the process. At some point, we're gonna need them and call upon them, and they got to be ready to go.
Yeah, how do you and your staff sort through those puzzle pieces? Because last year it was like, okay, this is kind of all we've got. Like this is what we've got to be. But now you've got some options. Like what like behind the scenes, what do you guys do to kind of move those around and see what you can do with all of your new pieces here?
You're right, Joey. And we were just in a staff meeting talking about that. Last year it's like, okay, well, this is it, and you kind of roll with it. Well, now you're like, okay, if someone's maybe not shooting it as well or not defending, okay, you can put this piece in it and this piece there, or, different lineups together and when to get some of the freshmen, experience. So I think those are things that obviously we're constantly evaluating, talking about. And a lot of right now, since we're only 2 games in, a lot of that is building and getting that trust in practice. And so, what are your stats in practice? How's your, how are you doing? What's your improvement in practice? And some of those things we're learning through that, but it's a little bit like a puzzle piece. And I think, I'm a feel coach of like when and who I go with in certain times in games. So I'm still trying to figure that out, and even like the other night, it's tight game. Who do we go to? Makira's not out there. Who are we going to run a play to? What are we going to, who do we want in this position? Those are a lot of things that we're all still trying to figure out, and myself included. So we'll continue to, I think to learn just each and every day, but it's been different the last 2 weeks when you take out a player that the ball goes through a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure that's equal parts fun as it is maybe a little unsettling. Like you guys as coaches typically like to know, right? So what's the balance there?
Yeah, I don't know about fun, but yeah, I think we all like to know. We don't like surprises, but that's even preparing for Marquette. We knew early, Makira probably wouldn't be able to play in that game. And so we was just like, we're prepping and we're, it's next woman up. So, yeah, it's fun to have options out. That's what I would say fun, but I just got to continue to figure that out of what's our best pieces together and win. And that's going to fluctuate game to game just by who's producing, in that game.
Shauna, you just signed a recruiting class here, and I think both of these additions are significant in their own ways. Barry Wallace, a 5-star recruit according to ESPN. Haven Smith, in-state, your first in-state get there. What was the significance of this recruiting class for you and your staff coming off winning?
Yeah, it was obviously, anytime you get kids to commit, it's big. And then, for kind of our first true class of who we've had some time to recruit, I think to get those two guys is it's great. Obviously Barry is, one top 20 player in the country, and Haven, I think just her upside's so big, and obviously she has great size and mobility, which is an important piece to us. We need to continue with KB and Hobby going to be gone, in a year and hopefully, 2 years. We need that. So get her in here, get her moving and get her working and improving with Haven. But Barry's just another player too that can come, and she just does so much. She kind of just like does a little bit of everything, and that glue, that X factor type of a player. With great size. So I'm super pumped and really just appreciate, our staff and all their hard work that they put in to get these two. It's hard to get them to that finish line and get them to sign. And so I'm really, really proud of, like I said, and appreciate our staff for all their hard work.
Yeah, I hate to look too far ahead, but you got a lot of talent to replace on the current team at some point. So what is that next step? What's that next class look like for you guys as you approach it with obviously a lot of turnover coming up?
No, you're right. And those are things, you used to try to plan and space out your classes, and we only want 2. Well, that's kind of long gone with the transfer portal. So, and obviously taking over this program last year, we were just trying to get the best players that we could get, and how it aligned ended up everyone being in. If our COVID kids, take that extra year, they all take that. Literally, we're replacing our starting 5 in the 25 class. So it's great as a coach because you're like, well, we've had, we could potentially have our same starting lineup for 3 years, which who has that anymore? But then on the backside, so when I start looking at the 25 class, that's when I start not sleeping at night and freaking out, because it's like, yeah, it's going to be, but also this is the fun part about that is we're selling, there's opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of minutes and we're in with some really high level players in that class. So we're selling, you can come and, and kind of, there's opportunity as a freshman, where right now this for 24 class, it was harder to say that when you have a ton of people potentially coming back in 5th year. So you got to take the good with the bad, but 25 class is a critical class for our future. And we need to bring in some elite players that can play right away. And then I'm going to have to understand, and I'll get to that point, that we're going to have to kind of throw them in the fire some that year. And a lot of freshmen will have to play more, and there's going to be some bumps in the road, maybe, and a little bit more growing pains with that, but it is what it is.
How much as you guys build that, just to have, like, you guys get here and you just have to get talent. Like when you got here, it's just go, go, go. But now you've had a couple years to build and kind of strengthen relationships. Like, how much does that play? And especially with that being such a critical class.
It's helped so much. I mean, last year, like I said, it was just like, you just have to attack every transfer and everything that we possibly could. And I mean, obviously we did a great job of getting some really good kids in and bringing them to be able to win in that first year. We don't do that without, the kids that we brought in. So, but now, again, hopefully we can have a successful year this year, so we can prove that 2 years we've won. I think that's in the relationships and everything like that. That's where I think the traction we've gained very quickly, and we're in a good place. Like I really feel good about a lot of our 25s, but you can feel good and then not get them. So we gotta, I think it's important in the 25 class that we get a couple early commits. Like we can't wait and it can't wait till fall on all these guys. So we got to be a little bit more, I never pressure kids to sign or give timelines to any recruits. That's not my style, but some of these kids we're kind of further down the path. We're going to hopefully, we need an early commit. 1 or 2 would be great.
I know you talked about getting kids here. Like you feel like if you get them here, you put yourself in a really good spot. What is it? Why do you feel that way?
I just think our culture and how we go about, what we do here. I think that when they're here, they feel that, those relationships between players and staff. They just sense, I think, the togetherness here. And that's where, the comments that we've had when people are here, those are some of the difference makers. And then also, they see, wow, this facility is unbelievable. And I have every resource I need under one roof, really to be the best version of myself as a student athlete. So you combine all that and the detailed plan that we set out for them of how we're going to make them better in every single area. And all the people here, that their jobs are to make you to be elite. I think that's where people are like, this is a great spot.
Shauna, Joey and I always like it to get people to be reflective of things. And when you came here, obviously Illinois women's basketball was not top of mind for people. It was at a low point, it felt like, and you've infused so much energy, excitement about it. But what have you learned about the capabilities of this program, the potential of this program, the support? I mean, obviously you want more and more attendance, more and more support of it, but what have you seen in the last year, especially from that?
I've been really, really pleased and happy with the support and how everyone's just, everyone, the community, people on campus, everyone's about women's basketball and anywhere I go in town now, someone will talk to me about, our team or how we're doing. And that's what you want. Those are type of special places that, you want that interaction. You want that support, because then you can get to that next level. So I think we have everything in place here in order to consistently be a winner and to compete for championships, and that we can control, and that's all you can ask for. So the support's been absolutely amazing, and we got to just continue to use that to try to continue to get great players here.
It's my last one. It's the first time I think we've talked to you. We didn't ask you about last year. It feels like the page has finally turned. Where do you feel like the expectations have changed from oh wow, what a great story those guys, and now it's hey, this is just what the program is or is trending to be.
Yeah, isn't it funny how quickly sometimes, last year everyone's just, they're happy you're winning and happy you win a game here and there, and now all of a sudden it's if you lose, you're awful, and and what's going on? They lost at Marquette. It's funny how it changed, but that's good. That's what I'm used to. It means that you've had some success. It means when there's that expectation and that pressure, no one's going to put more pressure on me than I will myself. So there's high expectations, and the standards and goals are high here. But yeah, it's funny how that changes really quickly. But yeah, it's a great thing. I wouldn't want it. I want to be in a place where people expect success and then really celebrate that success. So. But I'm just saying it's harder. This year's it's gonna be harder. You guys know it. You see the schedule. And I told our team that, and I just said it earlier, you guys, we could have got another guarantee and bought someone to come here and blow them out by 40. But what are we learning about ourselves? So no question, I'd rather go and play someone tough on their home court, go to and play Notre Dame on a neutral site. That's going to make us better. Now we know what we need to work on. It really is. Saturday was so good to know, hey, this is what we were good at. This is what we need to work on. So, expectations high, but it's all good.
Shauna Green, Illini women's basketball coach. They host St. Peter's on Wednesday, 11 a.m. for field trip day. Always a great atmosphere for that one, Shauna. And then the Shamrock Classic, noon Central Time, NBC. It's going to be a great matchup. Hopefully all the Illini fans tune into that one. Shauna, can't thank you enough for your time.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate you very much.
You've heard us talk about home field apparel since the start of the season. There are a lot of collegiate apparel brands out there, but we wanted to partner with Home Field because their designs are the best out there. Some of Illini Inquirer's favorites are the basketball ringer tee, the rose tee, and the 1980s long sleeve with the script Illini. It's great. Be sure to check out homefieldapparel.com, filter by Illinois, and see what we're talking about. And our listeners get an exclusive deal using code Illini23. Using that code Illini23 gets you 15% off your first order. We all know you're wearing Illini gear, so if you're in need of a refresh, we really think that you should check out Home Field Apparel, which has the best designs, and these shirts, guys, are really comfortable. Their designs are super unique, and a lot of thought goes into each concept. There's really nothing else on the market like what Home Field is doing. You can find them at homefieldapparel.com and use code Illini23 for 15% off your first order at homefieldapparel.com.